Hello, fucking noobs. This is part 4 of So You Want to Build a Computer, and we are on CPU and Heatsink. CPU is also known as the processor, and as I said before, it has to be compatible with your motherboard. So if you had an AMD motherboard, then you pick an AMD chip. In Intel, you pick an Intel chip. Now, you can either base one off the other. For me personally, I went with the CPU that I wanted, which ultimately was an AMD, and then I chose the motherboard. You normally don't want to choose the other way around. You know, pick your motherboard first. You want to pick your processor first, which should have been lesson 1, but that's alright. So in here, in Newegg, you go to computer hardware, your processor AMD, processor is Intel. Again, that's to match your motherboard. Make sure. It's very, very important. It won't work. And basically, your processors come in 3 different forms. You have the old version, the standard, the single core, which really isn't sold anymore. You can probably find one on eBay for like $30 or something, because no one fucking uses it. It's really slow. And you have your standards that are sold at retail, which are the dual cores, and you have your faster, which are the quad cores. Now, if you're a really hardcore gamer, performance whore, then go with the quad core. But if you're on a budget, a dual core is really fast as well. Now, let's see if we can get some pictures. It's really easy to install into the motherboard. The chip is really small, and as you can see compared to the box, that's not even the normal size. It's even smaller than that. And you just drop it into the CPU, the little part that I showed you earlier. It's really easy. The directions come right there. And other than the processor, you need a heatsink. This lays right on top of the processor and keeps it cool. If you can't put it without a heatsink, because it will just die within a matter of hours, depending on what you're doing. So let's type in heatsink up here. A Newegg. Some processors will come with a heatsink, but I wouldn't use its stock heatsink, because those are crappy. I would get an aftermarket third-party heatsink. And there are 2 different forms. There's one that juts out and shoots the fan to the left or the right, and one all the way to the right here that just shoots it straight out top. And that depends on your case. So figure that out. Also, in order to put the heatsink on, you're going to need some thermal paste. If it comes with a thermal pad, I wouldn't recommend using it, because you control how much thermal paste, but you can't control the strength of the thermal pad, and you don't know when that's going to burn out and then burn out your fucking CPU. So, get thermal paste. You can get it from Radio Shack. You can probably even get it from Newegg, and you apply it. You spread it right on top of the CPU, and then followed by the heatsink. And every heatsink comes with a manual for how to install it, and it's very easy. Just be careful, because they're usually heavy. Okay, any more questions? Just PM me, and stay tuned.